Coming up, Freeman Health System celebrates a milestone with a life-saving diagnostic procedure.
2 more overnights of cold weather. Then finally we get a little weekend warm-up. We'll have the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And one area casino lays down its money on a domestic and sexual assault shelter in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. But first, let's go to Michael Hayslip. The chill is on.
Light rain and even some upper atmosphere temperatures cold enough to support a snowflake or two. Now, certainly not widespread. Got to actually move into the far northwest and northeast and eastern sections of our highlighted counties of southwest Missouri to see exactly where we're getting. Just like I said, it's a flake or two. And then we get some sprinkles coming down from northern and southeast Kansas right across the state line through southwest Missouri. But the big factor for right now is going to be another night of the chilly temperatures. We're anywhere from high 30s to low 40s. We're all 41 in both Joplin and Miami, 42 at Martin Johnson Airport in Chanute, only 37 in Monette and in Stockton. The wind, yep, still coming in. Will this be third consecutive day? Now, as far as our watches and warnings go, nothing associated with the wind, but we do have one that is on standby to take effect later tonight. Our weather trend with mostly cloudy skies today. We'll go high 40s, low 50s, and then as we push into the nighttime hours, look at what formulates. How about, oh my goodness, they were going to drop below that freeze mark. Freeze warnings until Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Now, after this does all kind of blow over here, we begin a nice little Saturday warm-up. We just got to get past that 32-degree mark first. And then Saturday afternoon, we're cruising right up into the 60s. Saturday night into Sunday, much more tolerable, only down into the 50s, and then back up close to 80 on Sunday.
All right. I'm looking ready for that warm-up already.
And especially now that we're popping up freeze warnings. No, thank you.
No fun there. All right, thanks, Michael. A Jay, Oklahoma man pleads guilty to killing his mother and wounding a second victim. 42-year-old Christopher Wheely Thursday pled guilty to second-degree murder in Indian country and assault with intent to murder in Indian country. Authorities say Wheely admitted to shooting and killing his mother, Annie Marie Wheely, in March of last year. He also admitted to shooting another family member 2 times, but that person survived. The Pittsburgh Police Department is asking for the public's help finding a suspect wanted on multiple felony warrants. Authorities say Belinda Sue Cameron is wanted in Crawford County for aggravated endangering a child, driving under the influence, battery, and interference with law enforcement. And in Bourbon County, she's wanted for aggravated robbery and aggravated battery. She is not believed to be armed and dangerous. Still, law enforcement officials say you should contact them immediately if you see her. Freeman Health System is celebrating a milestone with a procedure to diagnose lung cancer early. Doctors recently performed their 100th Monarch robotic bronchoscopy. It allows them to focus on the lung during a biopsy and get a sample for diagnosis. Officials say early diagnoses lead to better treatment outcomes.
It didn't hardly affect me at all. I went through the procedure, and when I got out, I just took it easy for about the first 24 hours, and then I went back to my normal schedule. It was simple. I mean, I went to sleep, woke up, and it was done. And
Freeman says it is the first hospital in the area to use the Monarch. A local casino is raising money for victims of domestic and sexual assault. Downstream Casino Resort hosted a silent auction and a fashion show called Ooh La Lafayette. And that's the name because all the money raised from the event will go to the Lafayette House in Joplin. But there are other ways you can help.
LafayetteHouse.org, and you can donate and find out more information about Lafayette House and who we serve and what we do.
Items for the fashion show were provided by local boutiques. A local police department will be able to buy new vehicles thanks to a donation. On Thursday, the Wyandotte Nation donated $40,000 to the Seneca Police Department. Officers are currently driving older cars, some of which have some damage, including bullet holes. Another one of their patrol cars was recently totaled during a chase. Now the department will be able to get 2 new vehicles.
It's wonderful. I mean, we work with the Wyandotte Nation on a daily basis as far as police activity. They follow up with stuff. We follow up with them on both sides of the fence. I mean, we work together constantly. We're right here. It's no different than any other metro area, so to speak. We touch each other's jurisdiction.
The check presentation was held at the Wyandotte Nation Administration Building. Seneca police expect to get the new vehicles within the next 2 weeks. On Thursday, Northeastern Oklahoma A&M celebrated the school's founding. The college's annual Founders Day is a chance for staff and students to remember the school's 103-year history. Officials also use it to announce new projects by presenting the Mabin Award, named after James Mabin, the school's founder.
So anybody on this campus has the opportunity to submit an application, and so we take those applications from all across campus for anybody that submits those, and today our award winner is going to impact students.
This year the award was given to the school's library to fund new furniture and charging ports for students. If you're looking for a day to monkey around, today's the day. That's because it's National Zoo Lovers Day. Each year, millions of families visit zoos and learn about the many animals that live there. Also known as zoological parks, many of them serve as breeding centers. These facilities are relied upon when species are endangered or at risk of becoming endangered. They also provide education to the public about a broad variety of animals and their habitats, and make for a great field trip. Now, here's a couple of fun facts about zoos. There are 350 zoos in the United States, and the oldest existing zoo is the Vienna Zoo, which was opened to the public in 1765. So enjoy seeing your favorite animals swinging from the trees or splashing in the water, and have a fun-filled day and learn something while you visit your favorite zoo.
Children's Fun Fact Science Corner that you just brought us.
Yes. What is your, I love there was a great smiling panda behind you just a minute ago. Not anymore, but it was great. Now it's a beautiful elephant. But what's your favorite zoo animal, Michael?
Jaguar.
Jaguar? Right there. Those are mine.
Tulsa Zoo has they have a glass around their jaguars, and you can actually walk down and from this dark viewing place watch them usually sleeping in a tree. But just the pure power that you see on display when those animals just simply walk is amazing to me. I got enamored with jaguars when I was a kid, and I found out that these trackers in South America, they were going after a jaguar, which is an unfortunate part of it, but they tracked him by looking for cow carcasses in trees. And I was like, oh my God, how strong is this animal? And that's how I got started on my jaguar kick.
That is cool. Yeah.
Widespread frost coming overnight. Now we gotta get before we get there, we're gonna have a mostly cloudy day. It's gonna be a little bit dreary today. High 40s, low 50s. We're sitting low 40s right now, so not a whole lot of change temperature-wise. When we get to the weather trend for today, we got some light sprinkles coming down right now, and even a snowflake or two out on the far northwestern edge of southwest Missouri. I was looking at the traffic cameras up by Kansas City, and every now and then you see one dart across the screen. But remember, freeze warning for tonight into Saturday before we're into the 60s and 70s on the weekend.
All right, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a feathered fight takes place on the baseball diamond as the Cardinals take on the Eagles in their COC League opener. Plus, more and more robots are becoming an everyday part of our lives, and we want to know, how would you interact with a robot? And will there come a day when we have booster shots for specific COVID variants? We're going to find out when we come back. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
One of the longest tenured coaches in the 4 states decides to call it a career. Wayne Cheon has announced he's stepping down from his post at Colgan, St. Mary's Colgan. Cheon spent last 39 years as the Panthers boys basketball head coach. And in those nearly 4 decades, his teams won more than 650 games to go along with 5 state championships. This past season, the Panthers went 14-9 overall and won their 26th sub-state title under Wayne Cheon. In addition to coaching basketball, Cheon was an assistant coach for the football program for the last 35 years. Webb City Cardinals and Joplin Eagles meeting in Joplin, first COC League opener. These two teams both on a roll right now as Joplin has won 3 in a row. Webb City, winners of 6 of 8. It was windy, it was cold. Second inning, Kyler Stokes get it up in the jet stream, back of the fence. That's going to end up a triple and score 2 runs for the Eagles. A little bit later, Justin McReynolds. Watch this thing carry. Up, and away. Oppo. McReynolds gives the Eagles a 5-4 lead. Same inning, bases loaded. Ethan Guilford, chopper through the gap and left. That's going to bring everybody home. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Eagles score as Joplin stays hot, picks up a big winner over Webb City. Final score 11-6. Girard Trojans and Riverton Rams, 2 of the best baseball teams in Southeast Kansas to begin the season, as both of them 5-0 coming into the day. Rams and Trojans squaring off in a doubleheader in Girard. First conference action for Riverton, while Girard 2-0 in the CNC. Scoreless in the third, Kyler Harper lifts one into right field. Noah Harper's going to score all the way from second base. Ethan Merrill going to the mound. Hunter Bennett on the mound for Girard. How about this? Complete game shutout for Bennett. 12 strikeouts. Bottom of 7 were scoreless. Ethan Brooks steals second. And then Jaden Norris. Good things happen when you put the ball in play. Brooks running all the way. He's going to slide in with the winning run. Girard walks it off and wins it 1-0. In Game 2, Trojans able to make it a sweep and stay perfect. Final score 5-2. Girard 7-0 to begin the season, 4-0 in the CNC. Stay in Southeast Kansas, Frontenac with a doubleheader against Colgan in the CNC League opener. Raiders getting to work early. Alex Williams out to right center. Logan Myers was standing on second base. Logan Myers going to score. Williams in with an easy triple. Very next batter, Mario McGinney, just about goes the same spot and ends up with the same result. Williams trots home from third. McGinney makes it back-to-back triples for Frontenac as the Raiders score the first 5 runs of the day. In the third, Colgan chipping away. Cooper Simmons to the left-hand side. RBI single for Simmons. Panthers now on the board. And the next batter, Carter Jacquino. Once you got anything elevated yesterday, you didn't know what was going to happen. Jacquino with an RBI double, but it is Frontenac able to hold off Colgan in Game 1, final 12-8. In Game 2, Frontenac rolled 15-0. Game only lasted 4 innings. Alex Williams picks up 4 RBIs. He had 7 total yesterday. Frontenac now still perfect, moving to 5-0 for the spring. Just across the parking lot from that one, Colgan and Frontenac softball in the CNC Conference opener. Raiders on a roll, 3-0 and winning those 3 games by a combined score of 52-3. Frontenac aiming to stay perfect and roll against the 5-6-2 Panthers. Heather Arnett, she got wheels. Off the stolen base, throw gets away, she will round third. Arnett puts the Raiders out in front early. Same inning, Annie Lee yanks it down the third base line. MB, Mia Brown, she scores from third base. Brown also great in the circle last night for Frontenac. She had 8 strikeouts in Game 1. Frontenac rolls 7-0 in Game 2. Avery Johnson on the mound for Frontenac. She would end with 8 strikeouts. Abby Beeman and Hattie Pyle both went deep for Frontenac. Raiders win it 13-1 as Frontenac now 5-0 to begin the season. Well, Major League action with opening day and finally throwing out that first pitch. Both the Royals and Cardinals home games to begin the season. KC facing the Cleveland Guardians. There he is, Zach Greinke, back and in short sleeves. They got Nicky Lopez playing a little defense. My goodness, keeps the game scoreless. Dude can flash some weather. We found that out last year. In the 5th, down 1-0, Lopez doubles into the gap. Hunter Dozier scores to tie it up. In the 8th, Royals fans have been waiting for it. Bobby Witt Jr., his first Major League hit happens to be an RBI double down the line. It scores Lopez and gives the Royals their first lead of the day. Greinke goes 5 2/3 innings. Not a bad start as the Royals beat Cleveland 3-1. As for the Cardinals hosting the Pirates to open up the schedule, Tyler O'Neill going to bring home Dylan Carlson as St. Louis on top early. In the second inning, O'Neill up and out to left, 3-run shot. This pretty much ended that game right there. O'Neill 2 for 5, drives in 5 innings. Adam Wainwright lasted 6 innings last night. In the 8th, Nolan Arenado, his first home run of the season. Cardinals roll the Pirates by a final of 9-0. It's been almost more than 500 days since Tiger Woods last played a competitive round of golf. 14 months since a car crash nearly cost Woods his right leg. But despite all that, Tiger on the course Thursday in Augusta, Georgia, round 1 of the Masters. The par 3-6, Woods pin hunting. He would finish with his first birdie of the day on 6. Par 3s were good to Tiger. On the 16th, rolls in the long birdie. So 3 birds, 2 bogeys. Tiger 1 under in round 1, 4 shots back of the lead, tied for 10th place.
I am as sore as I expected to feel, but it was amazing to have, like I was telling the team, all week. Come game time, it'll be a different deal. My adrenaline will kick in. I'll get into my own little world, and I'll get after it.
Now, granted, with Tiger in his current physical shape, he's not going to be stalking around the fairway and the greens like he has done on the past, but it just looked like a completely different person yesterday. Back-to-back greens, he came up short. He walked up to the green laughing and joking with his playing partners. That is not something you would ever have seen a couple years ago. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, a gunman shoots 15 people in Tel Aviv, killing 2 and wounding 13. We'll have the latest on the manhunt for the suspect. And a check on our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. We're still trying to figure out, we think it's a combo. We think it's a combo of the dust from yesterday, the dust and dirt blowing from yesterday, and also, too, some dried raindrops. That's, of course, the tower cam at 7th and Range Line. And I apologize for it not being pristine. I will be OSHA compliant when I go up there with the squeegee and fix that later on this morning. 41 degrees right now in Joplin. Still windy, 21 miles per hour, sustained gusting at 28. And cool temperatures, we're as low as 37 in Nevada and Monette. Got a pair of 43s in Neodesha and Parsons. Let's roll 41 in Pittsburgh, Miami, and Joplin. Every now and then, you just see a flake shoot across one of these tower cameras, these traffic cameras up by Kansas City. And you very well could see the same thing right there from Jasper County right along I-44 into Newton County. But like I say, it doesn't even amount to much. You just kind of see a flake just fly right by. There's a look at the wind tracker, and that's once again while we remain on the very, very chilly side today. High 40s, low 50s, about as good as we're going to get, and not a whole lot of sunshine as well, as really we're going to have mostly cloudy skies to go along with our wind. Remember, overnight as the temperatures drop after sunset, freeze warning in effect until 8 a.m. on Saturday, at least Saturday afternoon. We can talk about getting back up into the 60s. Time now to turn our attention to the Instapoll and the KOAM News Now Facebook page. More and more robots are becoming integrated into our daily lives with fresh and some people may say exciting new inventions, helping make our lives more fun, advancing countless industries. And the impeccable Ashley Strohmeyer has a special look at a handful of robots helping to make the world a better place.
New robotic inventions continue infiltrating the world around us, giving new perspectives on how people and machines can coexist. This robot in Japan is a prime example. Researchers use a process called deep imitation learning, where they showed the device how to peel a banana until it was able to do it by itself. And while the task may seem silly, engineers say it's important for robots to master refined human-like skills.
Welcome to Venice.
Meanwhile, scientists from the Italian Institute of Technology say the iCub robot can let you visit another country without actually going there. The team outfitted researchers in the Swiss lab with special gear, letting them maneuver the iCub all around Venice, roughly 200 miles away. Innovative gloves and headsets let the user feel what the robot is touching and let the robot mimic the user's facial expressions, speech, and movements. And speaking of tourist sites, the ruins of Pompeii have a new robotic guard dog called Spot. The device, designed by Boston Dynamics, is now patrolling the ancient archaeological site, warding off any thieves. But Spot isn't the only four-legged robot helper. This bot, designed by engineers in Switzerland, can also operate on all fours, driving around to assist in potential rescue missions and package deliveries. It can even stand on two legs to assist people in everyday tasks, like pressing elevator buttons and walking downstairs. Besides making our lives easier, researchers hope these new inventions will also create new opportunities in fields like tourism and medicine. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Coming for us, folks. We sit back and we laugh about it now. Sit back and laugh about it now. Till Arnold Schwarzenegger comes back and gets us. Our question for you this morning: how would you interact with robots? A couple ways to connect: KOAMnewsnow.com/vote, or go straight to the Insta poll by going to our Facebook page at KOAM News Now. We'll be back with Healthwatch next.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, millions of people may no longer be able to get a controversial and costly Alzheimer's drug. Millions of people. Okay, so the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services announced the decision on Thursday. The new policy could also limit coverage for treatments approved in the future. Food and Drug Administration approved Aduhelm last June only for people in the early stages of the disease. Many experts have questioned the drug's efficacy and its cost, which is about $28,000 a year. Biogen is the maker of the drug. It says Medicare's decision is unprecedented. The company is urging Medicare to rethink the decision when additional data becomes available. A new study says life expectancy in the U.S. is still dropping. In 2021, it fell 0.4 years to 76.6 years. And this continues the trend from 2020, when expectancy dipped by nearly 2 years. In the decade before the coronavirus pandemic, life expectancy overall didn't change much, but more than 900,000 Americans have died from COVID in the past 2 years. Researchers from the University of Colorado and the Urban Institute analyzed data from several statistical agencies. They found life expectancy is more than 5 years less in the U.S. compared to other similar nations. If you have questions about COVID-19 boosters, you're not the only one. Problem is, there's more questions than answers right now, even for the FDA's vaccine advisors. Britt Conway explains why in today's Health Minute.
This virus, unfortunately, is going to be woven into the fabric of our everyday lives.
We might be done with coronavirus, but it's not done with us.
I would not be surprised if we see an uptick in cases. Whether that uptick becomes a surge where there are a lot more cases is difficult to predict. But the one thing that I hope, and I believe there's reason that this will not happen, is that we won't get a very large increase proportionately in hospitalizations because of the background immunity.
Immunity from people who've gotten COVID-19 and from vaccines and boosters. But even if a future with coronavirus is inevitable, exactly what that'll look like isn't clear between the threat of new variants and questions about boosters. Right now, another booster is being recommended for the immunocompromised over 12 years old and people over the age of 50.
The good news is it allows people who most need a booster shot, a second booster, to get one. The bad news is it's confusing for people. Do I need a booster? When should I get it?
Answers people hoped would come from the FDA, but the Vaccine Advisory Committee came away with no solid answers after meeting on Wednesday, partly because there are still questions about future vaccines. Both Pfizer and Moderna are working on variant-specific vaccines, and some researchers are hoping for a more universal vaccine. Until there's specific guidance,
we need people to have a trusted guide, like a primary care doctor, to tell them exactly what they need.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, Freeman Health System celebrates a milestone with a life-saving diagnostic procedure.
I think this morning's chilly. Just wait until you see the freeze warnings that we have headed into the weekend. The latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And one area casino lays down its money on a domestic and sexual assault shelter in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:34. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. But first, let's go to Michael Hayslip.
We're lucky we're skirting above 32 degrees because tomorrow morning, Tanya, completely different story. 41s in Joplin, Miami, and Pittsburgh, 42s in Chanute, and 37 in Monette and in Cassville. Mostly cloudy skies today, even after sunrise at 6:53, and another bout of high winds out of the northwest. Overnight, we are below freezing. Look at the freeze warnings dominating the 4 states and really running from about central Kansas all the way to the other side of the Mississippi River. Big old cold front going to work its way through. We'll see some sprinkles and a snowflake every now and then for the far northwestern section of the 4 states. It's not going to hamper any travel. Then we'll go from overnight freeze warnings to a high around 66 degrees on Saturday with mostly sunny skies, and then keep on warming up close to 80 by Sunday.
All right, thanks, Michael. Well, Oklahoma man pleads guilty to killing his mother and wounding a second victim. 42-year-old Christopher Wheely Thursday pled guilty to second-degree murder in Indian Country and assault with intent to murder in Indian Country. Authorities say Wheely admitted to shooting and killing his mother, Annie Marie Wheely, in March of last year. He also admitted to shooting another family member 2 times, but that person survived. Pittsburgh Police Department is asking for the public's help for finding a suspect wanted on multiple felony warrants. Authorities say Belinda Sue Cameron is wanted in Crawford County for aggravated endangering a child, driving under the influence, battery, and interference with law enforcement. In Bourbon County, she's wanted for aggravated robbery and aggravated battery. She is not believed to be armed and dangerous. Still, law enforcement officials say you should contact them immediately if you see her. Missouri's GOP-led House is advancing a state spending plan for the upcoming budget year. House lawmakers fine-tuned the budget, which still needs several votes of approval to move to the Senate. Democrats say Republicans are being too stingy in spending billions of dollars in federal funding, but Republicans say they're trying to be cautious in deciding how to allocate a massive amount of aid. One point of debate is over teacher raises, which Governor Mike Parson and Democrats want, but so far the House has not included money for that in the budget. Freeman Hospital is celebrating a milestone in its treatment of lung cancer patients. It's marking its 100th treatment using the Monarch platform robotic bronchoscopy. The high-tech device helps with precision biopsies. Kenneth Farr, the 100th patient to benefit from the technology, was at the celebration.
It didn't hardly affect me at all. I went through the procedure, and when I got out, I just took it easy for about the first 24 hours, and then I went back to my normal schedule. It was simple. I mean, I went to sleep, woke up, and it was done. And
Freeman says it is the first hospital in Missouri, Southeast Kansas, and Northeast Oklahoma to use the Monarch. Well, a fun fundraiser Thursday night for Joplin's Lafayette House. It happened at the Downstream Casino Resort and included dinner, a silent auction for new and gently used handbags, and a fashion show by local boutiques.
Our annual fundraiser, it's called Ula Lafayette, and this is a silent auction with purses that are donated from local boutiques, local individuals, and used bags that are also donated from people within our community.
All proceeds from the event are going to the Lafayette House, which helps survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. Yesterday, some folks in Joplin got out and headed downtown to check out some art and local vendors for the first Thursday Art Walk. 7 local venues participated, featuring different styles of art and artists. Here's Michael with a look at your forecast.
All right, Skywatch Storm Tracker. Like I said, we're picking up just some light sprinkles indicated in green. And then the snow that you do see, we are catching some snowflakes. It'll flash right across some of those traffic cameras right there, but it doesn't impede any travel, and certainly it's not going to stick around. You won't see any accumulation probably even by the time we get to sunrise. It is chilly out there. Anywhere from about 37 to 43, and afternoon-wise only going to make it up into the high 40s, low 50s. Remember, overnight we've got freeze warnings that are actually going to bring us widespread frost. We'll have some wind chills tonight into tomorrow morning that'll be down into the 20s.
This morning, we're discussing robots and human interaction. More and more robots are becoming an everyday part of life, and today we looked at just a few examples of new robots that serve different functions. We saw the iCub robot let people visit another country without actually going there, and we revisited a four-legged robot we met a few weeks ago named Spot, who patrols the ancient ruins of Pompeii as a guard dog. Now, engineers have also come up with a robot designed to assist in potential rescue missions or simply perform everyday tasks such as pushing an elevator button. Now to our question of the day. How would you interact with robots?
And right now, Tanya, an overwhelming, say 67%, none of the above. I'm going to go ahead and include that just as I don't want to interact with robots. Our other three options are recreational. Physical assistance has 30% right now. Companionship has 10%, and now 60% say none of the above. 60% essentially saying, I will go Linda Hamilton on you, and we will remedy this situation.
Now, how far do you consider robots? Would you consider just like a super advanced technology to be robots?
Let's just say that the story put forth to us by Ashley Strohmeyer included my devil dog from Boston Dynamics, including one that stood up on its back legs and had wheels on its front legs. And when it stood up, it looked like it was 10 feet tall.
And there's a lot of AI technology out there that makes them very human-like. And we've been talking about this for, what, like 12, 13 years now, about someone being here, someone being there.
I want somebody to make me a robotic Linda Hamilton. That's how I'm going to take care of this. That's a look at this morning's top news stories. I need my co-anchor back, AI robots. Here's what's coming up on the KOAM Morning News. They say beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but in the case of one art exhibit, it's actually in the mouth. We're going to take a look at an annual art fair devoted to Peeps. And Ukraine's foreign minister has one request from NATO: give us more weapons. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Topping World Watch, 2 people have been killed and at least 8 others wounded following a shooting attack in Tel Aviv. That's according to multiple sources, including a spokesperson from the Ichilov Hospital, which has been treating the injured. 4 of the wounded have been operated on. The hospital says are in serious to critical condition. 2 more are described as being in moderate to serious condition. Condition of the 2 others is described as light. A police commander said the attack happened at a bar on Dizengoff Street in the center of the city. New York Times reports Israeli security forces shot and killed the suspected Palestinian gunman who had fled the scene of the shooting. The shooting outside the bar was the 4th lethal attack in Israel in less than 3 weeks and brought the total death toll since March 22nd to 13. Mexico's National Migration Institute says authorities found 167 migrants from different nationalities hidden in a cargo truck near the city of Puebla. According to a statement from the institute, which calls the operation a, quote, rescue, 135 of the migrants are from Guatemala, 20 are from Honduras, 8 from El Salvador, and 4 from Cuba. The operation led to the arrest of 2 Mexican nationals for human trafficking, and according to the statement, added the cargo truck was also seized. In Brussels, Ukraine's foreign minister begged NATO for more weapons, saying, quote, before it's too late. The alliance agreed to send more arms, including weapons against chemical attacks. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says NATO has been responding to Ukraine's needs. Nick Robertson tells us more.
Well, Ukraine's foreign minister arrived here saying he wanted 3 things: weapons, 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 and that he needs them urgently. The reason being Ukraine fears that Russia is building up for a big new offensive in the east of Ukraine.
Either you help us now, and I'm speaking about days, not weeks, or your help will come too late. and many people will die.
Just a few days ago, NATO officials were talking about sending tanks, about sending armored vehicles. But when the meeting of the foreign ministers wrapped up here, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg wasn't specific when he was asked the question, so what will you be sending? And the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken also opaque as well, but saying that they were working with the Ukrainians and giving them what they think the Ukrainians need.
We are looking at day in, day out, what we believe they most need, to include new systems that have not heretofore been provided. We're listening to them in terms of their assessment of what they need. We're putting that all together, and we're proceeding.
And Ukraine's foreign minister saying that they're still committed to negotiations with the Russians, but saying how those talks go, how the negotiations go, depend essentially on two things: how the armies fight and how Russia feels the pressure of the sanctions. And of course, what he's saying there is how the Ukrainian army fights depends on the support they get from right here.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back with the news you need to know before you head out the door. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Jay, Oklahoma man pleads guilty to killing his mother and wounding a second victim. 42-year-old Christopher Wheely Thursday pled guilty to second-degree murder in Indian country and assault with intent to murder in Indian country. Authorities say Wheely admitted to shooting and killing his mother, Annie Marie Wheely, in March of last year. He also admitted to shooting another family member 2 times, but that person survived. Pittsburgh Police Department is asking for the public's help finding a suspect wanted on multiple felony warrants. Authorities say Belinda Sue Cameron is wanted in Crawford County for aggravated endangering a child, driving under the influence, battery, and interference with law enforcement. In Bourbon County, she's wanted for aggravated robbery and aggravated battery. She is not believed to be armed and dangerous. Still, law enforcement officials say you should contact them immediately if you see her. Missouri's GOP-led House is advancing a state spending plan for the upcoming budget year. House lawmakers fine-tuned the budget, which still needs several votes of approval to move to the Senate. Democrats say Republicans are being too stingy and spending billions of dollars in federal funding, but Republicans say they're trying to be cautious in deciding how to allocate a massive amount of aid. One point of debate is over teacher raises, which Governor Mike Parson and Democrats want. But so far, the House has not included money for that in the budget. And a local motorcycle shop is building a custom bike for a larger-than-life celebrity. Ty Profat in Miami, Oklahoma, is building an all-electric motorcycle for NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal. It's to celebrate his 50th birthday. The shop bought the body of the bike, but needed to customize it to fit Shaq's 7'1", more than 300-pound frame. That involves stretching out certain parts while still maintaining the look of a normal bike, just much bigger. The shop finished the bike in about 2 weeks. They say Shaq was so impressed, he ordered 2 more. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Chilly outside. Look at Stockton and Monette, right-hand side of your screen, dropping down to 35 degrees. We've got mainly low 40s running throughout southeast Kansas. Sunrise at 6:53, but a mostly cloudy start. And after an afternoon where we're high 40s, low 50s, look at this. We've got a freeze warning that pops up overnight into Saturday. There is a little light at the end of the weekend tunnel because after the freeze warnings expire Saturday, we're going to push up into the mid-60s, then get close to 80 on Sunday. Be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
An art exhibit all about Peeps. Those springtime marshmallow confections have returned in Racine, Wisconsin. Some of the art covers a serious subject. James Groh takes a
must not think of them as conventional candy per se. You need to think of them as a method to an end.
In this gallery, Peeps are the art and they're the medium. It's the 13th annual International Peeps exhibition. Some of the art here is made out of food, but you don't want to eat it. These Peeps have been painted and glued. However, that doesn't stop hungry visitors from trying them.
Every now and then we'll come in and we'll find a Peep is missing. And we know somebody's either taken it or chomped on it.
There are 162 entries to the gallery and competition this year. The art must be made out of Peeps or about Peeps, so it can be like this diorama or a painting of Peeps. Winners get the golden Peep. While it is a competition, it's not really about winning or prizes. It's about making art in a different way.
I like it because of the happiness that it brings to people.
This Peep art is just fun and colorful. My favorite was the Peeps roasting what looks like other Peeps over the fire. The gallery helps usher in the beginning of spring. There are Peeps camping, Peep animatronics, and even Peeps on a video chat call. Plus, this year, there's an entire section about the invasion of Ukraine.
So there are many pieces about freedom and rights, and then recreation. So people are speaking to all aspects of their life here.
That was quite a Peep show. The Peeps exhibit runs through April 23rd. We'll be right back with another look at your forecast.
Light sprinkles coming down on the Skywatch storm tracker, mainly through southwest Missouri. You see a little white mixed in there every now and then from our traffic cameras, especially up toward Kansas City. You just see a snowflake that'll dart by the tower cam. That's about all it amounts to. Temperatures right now, high 30s, low 40s, mostly cloudy skies today. Another chilly one. And then as we drop from Friday night into Saturday morning, look at the bottom of your screen, freeze warnings bringing overnight widespread frost. Now here's the interesting thing about that. Saturday afternoon, we get sunshine. We work up into the mid-60s after the freeze warnings. Then we get up close to 80 on Sunday. More KOAM morning news headed your way right after this.
Coming up, Freeman Health System celebrates a milestone with a life-saving diagnostic procedure.
We're fighting several things from the Skywatch Weather Center. We've got the dust that's been picked up from our wind this week. We've got a raindrop every now and then, and my goodness, we've got a definitive chill in the air.
And one area casino lays down its money on a domestic and sexual assault shelter in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, it's mighty cold outside.
It's mighty cold outside. We're figuring out what to do with the sky camera because if you go outside and you look at your own vehicle windows, if you had to park outside, well, even if you parked in the garage, you're probably going to notice the film and the filth and the dirt and the particles from the past 2 days of high winds. That's what we're seeing right there. And then look on the right-hand side. We just picked up a raindrop right there. It's just some light sprinkles that are falling. But that's what we're starting off with. And just like Tanya said, then we got to fight the cold. 41 degrees with a wind chill right now of 34 in Joplin. These are actual temperatures. 43 in Chanute, 35 in Monette, 43 in Miami. Here's the sprinkles that we're talking about coming down. Focus in on that Joplin area. Nothing heavy. Look, you get a little bout every now and then. No lightning, and yeah, you are seeing some white and purple in there. We've got some snowflakes that every now and then will whip past one of the traffic cameras, but it certainly isn't going to slow you down travel-wise, and it's not going to accumulate one bit. Now, our temperatures, overcast skies, so we're stuck in the high 40s, low 50s today. And then on the right-hand side, look at how we plummet down. What that leads to, freeze warnings. That's right, freeze warnings. Overnight into Saturday morning, widespread frost, and then after we get to sunrise on Saturday, an amazingly quick warm-up up to the mid-60s. Great afternoon on Saturday. Marvelous afternoon on Sunday. Look at that, close to 80. We just need this wind to shift on us. If it's going to come in at 30 miles per hour, at least it could do it from the south-southwest and warm us up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, that wind yesterday, I'm telling you, it was tough to stay on the road. It was so windy.
For all of you that were out on a baseball or softball diamond yesterday, you have the weatherman's apologies because you can't practice for conditions in what you kids were playing in. Yeah. And I saw kids giving every ounce of effort out there and Mother Nature just toying with them. Yeah. When a softball gets 100 feet up in the air and it's blowing 40 miles per hour, what are you going to do? I mean, you give it your best effort, but you don't know where that thing's going to land. I felt bad for you guys out yesterday. Yeah. But thank you for the effort that you put forth. You're always fun to watch.
All right, thanks, Michael. A Jay, Oklahoma man pleads guilty to killing his mother and wounding a second victim. 42-year-old Christopher Wheely Thursday pled guilty to second-degree murder in Indian country and assault with intent to murder in Indian country. Authorities say Wheely admitted to shooting and killing his mother, Annie Marie Wheely, in March of last year. He also admitted to shooting another family member 2 times, but that person survived. Pittsburgh Police Department is asking for the public's help finding a suspect wanted on multiple felony warrants. Authorities say Belinda Sue Cameron is wanted in Crawford County for aggravated endangering a child, driving under the influence, battery, and interference with law enforcement. In Bourbon County, she's wanted for aggravated robbery and aggravated battery. She is not believed to be armed and dangerous. Still, law enforcement officials say you should contact them immediately if you see her. A local motorcycle shop is building a custom bike for a larger-than-life celebrity. Ty Profab in Miami, Oklahoma is building an all-electric motorcycle for an NBA Hall of Famer, Shaquille O'Neal. It's to celebrate his 50th birthday. The shop bought the body of the bike, but needed to customize it to fit Shaq's 7'1", more than 300-pound frame. That involves stretching out certain parts while still maintaining the look of a normal bike, just much bigger.
And we just pretty much started with a complete frame from scratch, complete fuel tank and everything, and stretched it all apart, lowered it, bunch of aftermarket parts to handle how big he is. I actually probably couldn't even ride the bike personally.
The shop finished the bike in about 2 weeks. They say Shaq was so impressed, he ordered 2 more. Freeman Hospital is celebrating a milestone in its treatment of lung cancer patients. It's marking its 100th treatment using the Monarch platform robotic bronchoscopy. The high-tech device helps with precision biopsies. Kenneth Farr, the 100th patient to benefit from the technology, was at the celebration.
It didn't hardly affect me at all. I went through the procedure, and when I got out, I just took it easy for about the first 24 hours, and then I went back to my normal schedule. It was simple. I mean, I went to sleep, woke up, and it was done. And
Freeman says it is the first hospital in Missouri, southeast Kansas, and northeast Oklahoma to use the Monarch. A local police department will be able to buy new vehicles thanks to a donation. On Thursday, the Wyandotte Nation donated $40,000 to the Seneca Police Department. Officers are currently driving older cars, some of which have some damage, including bullet holes, after one of their patrol cars was recently totaled during a chase. And now the department will be able to get 2 new vehicles.
It's wonderful. I mean, we work with the Wyandotte Nation on a daily basis as far as police activity. They follow up with stuff. We follow up with them on both sides of the fence. I mean, we work together constantly. We're right here. It's no different than any other metro area, so to speak. We touch each other's jurisdiction.
Check presentation was held at the Wyandotte Nation Administration Building. Seneca Police expect to get the new vehicles within the next 2 weeks. A local casino is raising money for victims of domestic and sexual assault. Downstream Casino Resort hosted a silent auction and a fashion show called Ooh La Lafayette. That's the name because all the money raised from the event will go to the Lafayette House in Joplin. And today, back in 1974, Hank Aaron breaks Babe Ruth's all-time home run record. Hank Aaron of the Atlanta Braves hit his 715th career home run. Now, this broke the legendary record that Babe Ruth had 714 homers. A crowd of 53,775 was with Aaron that night to cheer when he hit a 4th-inning pitch off of Al Downing. However, due to Aaron being African-American, the achievement was bittersweet as he received a lot of death threats and racist hate mail during his pursuit of the record.
I wish we would have shown the video of the actual event. There were 2 gentlemen that jumped onto the field, which of course today you'd immediately be arrested. But it's a little bit of an iconic shot there as they follow Hank Aaron around the field. I was talking to Dr. Wayne Gilmore last week. He would come to know one of those gentlemen that he met at a medical conference years later. Isn't that something else?
Huh.
Yeah. But as you brought up, the racial tension right there, I think really brought forth by the historic TV call by Vin Scully, the legendary Vin Scully. Here's a black man getting a standing ovation in the Deep South. What a marvelous day for baseball. You have Milo Hamilton's call. There's a new home run king, his Henry Aaron. Yeah. Iconic calls. Iconic calls of an iconic human being.
Yeah, for sure.
Al Downing and Hank Aaron would actually end up becoming friends later in life.
Really?
Yep.
That's cool.
No animosity between them whatsoever. Downing at one point in time really got tired of people asking about it, but then he embraced it after his retirement.
Might as well, yeah.
Right, joined at the hip for a legendary moment. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know why we buried the lead here. Let's hope this is not the entire at bat. So there's Al Downing pitching for the Dodgers in 1974. You Kansas City Royals fans may notice the left field here as the ball, left fielder, as the ball sails over his head. That's Bill Buckner. That's right, that's Bill Buckner playing left field for the Dodgers there. Tom House, who was a pitcher in the Braves bullpen. He would later go on to be
There's your two guys.
There's the two guys, yeah. There's 7-15. There's the two gentlemen I was talking about, which of course would never happen today. Tom House caught 7-15 in the Braves bullpen, immediately made sure that Aaron got the ball back. There's Joe Ferguson, the Dodgers catcher. Yeah, what a great moment. I got goosebumps right there, especially with opening day being yesterday. That was great. Thank you, control room. You guys on top. Appreciate that.
Ask and you shall receive, Michael.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm asking for warmer temperatures, but you're making me wait at least another day.
You're going to have to wait till Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I know. There we go, prompter. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, prepare to go under the sea as some cast members from Joplin High School swim into the studio to talk about their production, The Little Mermaid. Plus, a historic nomination for the Supreme Court with the confirmation of Supreme Court Justice nominee Katanji Brown Jackson. Stick with us. We'll tell you how it went. And Kansas clinics that provide abortions soon will be overwhelmed as women from Missouri, Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas drive up the state to get one. We're going to show you how one Wichita clinic is handling it. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the Senate confirms Katanji Brown Jackson to the U.S. Supreme Court. Thursday's historic vote brings down another barrier at the highest level of American government. Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill.
The yeas are 53, the nays are 47, and this nomination is confirmed.
The Senate chamber erupted in cheers and applause as Katanji Brown Jackson was confirmed to the U.S. Supreme Court. At the White House, Jackson and President Biden watched the historic vote, which will make her the first black woman to sit on the nation's high court. All Senate Democrats voted in favor of Jackson, along with 3 Republicans, Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski, who crossed party lines with their support.
If I had to think of an adjective to describe all of us, it would be elated.
During confirmation hearings last month, Judge Jackson spoke of her family's experience with racial segregation before civil rights laws were enacted in the 1950s and 60s.
My parents taught me that unlike the many barriers that they had to face growing up, my path was clearer.
In South Florida, the student council of the Miami-Dade high school Jackson attended years ago watched the vote.
For her to become such a world-renowned position, a Supreme Court justice, I feel that I can accomplish just as much or even more.
Jackson, who is 51, will also become the first former public defender to serve on the Supreme Court. Her nomination faced stiff opposition from Republicans who argued the federal appeals judge was too liberal and soft on crime.
If we were in charge and we had a say, there would be somebody less extreme filling this seat.
Jackson will become the 3rd black justice in Supreme Court history after Thurgood Marshall and Clarence Thomas, and for the first time in the court's 233 years, 4 of 9 justices will be women. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Jackson will join the Supreme Court when Justice Stephen Breyer retires this summer. It will also mark the first time 2 black justices are on the court at the same time. Well, the confirmation of the first black female Supreme Court justice made for an inspirational day for many. Senator Raphael Warnock used the occasion to write a special letter to his daughter. He was encouraged to do so by another history-making black female, Vice President Kamala Harris. Handwritten letter posted on Instagram says, quote, Katanji Brown Jackson is the first Supreme Court justice that looks like you, end quote. First African-American senator from Georgia wanted to make sure his daughter knew she could achieve anything she sets her head and heart to. Districts in Marion County, Kansas called off some classes for the day on Thursday. Kansas Bureau of Investigation says a call came into law enforcement in the Kansas City area just before midnight Wednesday. Caller claimed children were planning to bring guns to school on Thursday in Marion County. School officials in the county made the decision to cancel classes out of an abundance of caution. Center, Hillsborough, Marion, Florence, and Peabody Burns are some of the schools that decided to close. KBI says it is continuing to monitor the situation. That's a look at today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
Back to the KOAM Morning News. We've got a great presentation that's coming up. Joplin High School is going to put on Little Mermaid, and we're fortunate enough this morning to have two of the key players take time out of their school schedules. Don't tell your teachers that you're doing this right now, okay? But we are fortunate enough to have Vivian Holt, who's there on your left, and Callie Hall there on your right. They're both sophomores and part of the upcoming presentation of The Little Mermaid at Joplin High School. Vivian and Callie, thank you so much for your time. Vivian, I want to start with you. What has it been like coming off post-pandemic? And I don't want to call you a child. You're a young woman. But the past 2.5 years of your life have taken you from junior high into high school during this pandemic phase. What is it like to be back up on stage and to be able to welcome people into a theater setting?
It's great having like big audiences back. It's really great having like another just group of people that I didn't have before. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. Like I can kind of see like the excitement coming out of you right there. Callie, as far as when they put out the schedule and whatnot, is there something that attracted you to The Little Mermaid? Did you say, hey, I have a certain role in mind? Callie happens to play Alana in the upcoming performance right there. Is there something that you were like, yes, this is a thing I want to be a part of? And if so, why?
Well, usually I am part of the musical every year. I do a lot of theater. So when I heard we were doing The Little Mermaid, I was like, oh, that's such a fun show. So I obviously wanted to do it. And it's just a great show overall. So it was just a definite yes for me. I didn't really have a specific character I wanted to be in mind. I just wanted to be a part of it because it's so fun.
I find it interesting that this is one of the most popular Disney movies. And so I have to ask you, now that you're young women in high school, did either of you watch this when you were children growing up?
I did not, but I listened to the soundtrack and I do love that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Callie, did you watch it as a child?
No, yeah, I definitely did a lot. And so do my siblings. I have a lot of siblings, and we all really enjoy the movie.
So this is very interesting. Callie, is it one of those things where you were, and Vivian, I want to get your perspective on this too. Callie, coming off of watching the movie, what were some of the differences that you noticed in the transition from the movie that you were familiar with to taking Alana and putting her on stage?
Well, it is really different from the movie because in the movie, you don't really see a lot of the Ariel sisters, the Mer sisters, but when we put the musical on stage, it includes a lot more character moments that are able to show more of the sisters and just tell more of the story in general.
And so, Vivian, that's interesting from your perspective because you kind of come in with a blank slate, per se, with maybe not so many preconceived ideas as far as what the movie was like. When you get up there, how are you trying to interpret your role and kind of convey that, knowing that probably the majority of the audience has in fact watched the movie?
Well, like we do know that like whenever like Ariel like falls in love and whatever, like all of her sisters are like kind of annoyed by her.
So I have to ask the both of you this as we get ready for the performance here. What was your favorite part? I know the hard work and effort that you two have put into this, and not only you two, your entire cast, not only what you'll see on the stage, but also behind the scenes, and God bless the work of your fine directors and everybody there at the high school as well. What's been the most fun part of this journey leading up to opening night?
Well, I think for me, my favorite part has just been able to perform and tell a story in this whole story, because it's such a great movie, and having people see that story on stage and us being able to retell that to such a big audience is really fun for me.
And Vivian, I want you to answer that as well. What has been the most fun for you?
Being able to like what Callie said, like being able to put on this great performance, but also because I'm doing it with all of my closest friends, and we all have a very closer bond after the rehearsal process.
Vivian, I tell you what, I'm so glad that you hammered home that point right there, because as much as us parents and us community members love watching you, that's television, folks. That's what happens on an overhead announcement. You guys are doing great. No, Vivian, what I was going to say is I love the fact that you hammered home the point that as a community and a theater stage troupe that you all come together. I want to thank Vivian Holt and Callie Hall once again. And so just, hey, before you guys get out of here, I want to remind everybody that it's coming up April 7th through the 9th. Performances start at 7 p.m. and you can find a link to buy tickets. You can get them at the door, but also too, we'll make sure that we have a link at KOAMnewsnow.com on this interview. I want to thank the two of you. I know you've got to get back to school because that overhead announcement is like, telling me you guys have classes to do. But thank you so much. And Vivian and Callie, whenever we do an interview like this, I like to finish it off one way. Break a leg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, Oklahoma, Missouri, Texas, and Arkansas women rely on Kansas clinics for providing abortion services. It's becoming their only option to terminate a pregnancy due to abortion laws tightening in those states. This causes a strain on clinics in Kansas. Grant DeMars has more on the story.
While Kansas may have its fair share of abortion restrictions, for women in states like Missouri, Arkansas, Texas, and Oklahoma, it's one of their only options to terminate a pregnancy. After Texas implemented its 6-week abortion ban last fall, women there began driving to clinics in Oklahoma City and Wichita like Trust Women. Women from Oklahoma who couldn't get appointments there because of the increased demand also came to Kansas.
That bill went into effect September 1 of last year. The day before, August 31st, our phones started ringing, and they have not stopped since.
Before that, in the first months of the COVID-19 pandemic, both Texas and Oklahoma put temporary bans in place on abortion, saying they were elective procedures. The skyrocketing number of women seeking care at Trust Women here in Wichita after that could just be a glimpse into what will happen if Oklahoma's new legislation takes effect.
In Oklahoma City, that means we're seeing around 60% patients from Texas. In Wichita, what we've begun seeing in the past couple months is more patients from Oklahoma who are having to leave their own communities because it's more difficult to get appointments due to the influx of Texas patients.
Already, Kansas clinics are overwhelmed.
We're looking at 2, 3, 4 weeks out in order to get an appointment.
With time being a key factor in safely and legally terminating a pregnancy, a few weeks could be the difference between taking a pill or having a surgical abortion or even being able to get one at all.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, Freeman Health System celebrates a milestone with a life-saving diagnostic procedure.
Yeah, some morning rain coming down to combine with our cooler temperatures. We'll have the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And one area casino lays its money down on a domestic and sexual assault shelter in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:32. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, let's check out the chill and Michael Hayslip.
I'll clean that sky camera off with a little rain over 7th and Range Line. That's what we're getting right there, is that system that moved out of Jasper County and creeping into Newton County right now. It's certainly not looking like anything severe by any means. It's just going to be around for about 10-15 more minutes here. 41 miles per hour is 41 degrees is where we stand, with winds up to 30 miles per hour in Joplin. Now here's that rain that we were talking about. This is that band that stretches really just to the east of Joplin and Neosho, and it's dropping down south of I-44. Be out of here, like I said, in a matter of minutes. We did see some early morning snowflakes, certainly not any travel concerns. And temperatures today, mostly cloudy skies, not a whole lot of sunshine, going to be stuck down into the low 40s and high 50s. Also of note, as we get closer to sunset tonight, we've got the emergence of freeze warnings, widespread frost all the way from tonight into Saturday. Just wait for Saturday afternoon. Sunshine's going to kick in. We'll go mid-60s on Saturday, close to 80 on Sunday. For those freeze warnings be a thing of the past.
Well,
kind of fortunate. This sounds terrible, but I'm kind of happy about the rain over 7th and Range Line right now. Or if you missed it earlier, folks, we actually had just a film of dirt and particles and filth. You remember that from Fletch? What is it? When he watched the airplane, he goes, "What is this filth, this gunk?"
oh yeah, and I'm not surprised. I was driving down downtown Pittsburgh yesterday in the middle of town, and I got pelted by dirt and sand with my vehicle.
Yeah.
And it was like, where's it coming from? There wasn't a truck going the other way. It was just through the air.
Coming 40 miles an hour. Who knows how far it travels?
Yeah, just, wow. Would not have been wanting to walk down the street at that moment. All right, thanks, Michael. Well, fundraiser Thursday night for Joplin's Lafayette House. It happened at the Downstream Casino Resort. Included dinner, a silent auction for new and gently used handbags, and a fashion show by local boutiques. Freeman Hospital is celebrating a milestone in its treatment of lung cancer patients. It's marking its 100th treatment using the Monarch platform robotic bronchoscopy. The high-tech device helps with precision biopsies. Kenneth Farr, the 100th patient to benefit from the technology, was at the celebration.
It didn't hardly affect me at all. I went through the procedure, and when I got out, I just took it easy for about the first 24 hours, and then I went back to my normal schedule. It was simple. I mean, I went to sleep, woke up, and it was done. And
Freeman says it is the first hospital in Missouri, southeast Kansas, and northeast Oklahoma to use the Monarch. Well, today, back in 2013, Margaret Thatcher, Britain's first female prime minister, passes away. Now, Thatcher, who served as Great Britain's first female prime minister, passed away in London at the age of 87. Thatcher was the longest serving British prime minister of the 20th century. She served from 1979 to 1990. She curbed the power of Britain's labor unions, privatized state-owned industries, led her nation to victory in the Falkland Wars, and helped put an end to the Cold War. Thatcher was a polarizing figure, and she gained the nickname of the Iron Lady.
It was given to her by a Russian newspaper. She ran with it.
Why not, right?
She took that moniker, and I always thought that was so cool. Somebody was poking fun at her, and she said, "Nope."
She has a major role depicted quite prominently in the Netflix series The Crown, too.
She does, and she's also a part of a new documentary that just came out on Netflix. Granted, it's not about her, but you may find that interesting as far as your affinity for the royals and England as a whole.
What's this series?
It's about Jimmy Savile. Temperatures in the high 40s today. We'll go 60s tomorrow, 70s, if not close to 80 by Sunday. Remember, though, widespread frost overnight into Saturday morning.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, pedestrian deaths are on the rise due to walking the streets and becoming more dangerous. We'll have solutions that are being proposed to keep the sidewalks and streets safe for them. Plus, robots are becoming more and more common in our everyday lives, from their original use in the workplace to even becoming companions. And today we want to know, How would you interact with robots? We let you weigh in. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, deadly car accidents have been on the rise, and a new report shows more pedestrians are being killed. Danya Bacchus reports from Los Angeles.
This surveillance video shows two sisters walking on a Florida sidewalk last month. Just seconds later, one of them was hit and killed while trying to cross the street.
It's tragic. It's awful. I don't know. I want it to stop. I want this to never happen again.
Unfortunately, these types of accidents are becoming more common. Pedestrian deaths have been on the rise for a decade, and a new report shows more than 3,400 people were killed in the first 6 months of 2021, a 17% jump from the previous year.
The report confirms what we've been saying for many, many years, and that is we have a pedestrian safety crisis in this country.
Pam Shadell Fisher is with the Governor's Highway Safety Association that published the report. She says the rise in pedestrian deaths coincides with a surge in dangerous driving, including speeding.
You have that mix of speeding vehicles with people on foot. The higher the speeds, the more likely they are to be killed and injured.
Another factor, Americans are driving larger vehicles like SUVs and trucks that are more likely than cars to kill a pedestrian. And most of these accidents happen at night.
We need better lighting, so the more visible we can make them, the better.
Many modern streets are wide with longer blocks, and people tend to run across where they shouldn't. The Department of Transportation is now dedicating billions of dollars to making changes for safer road designs, including more crosswalks, bike lanes, and better lighting. Changes that could make the roads safer for everyone. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
That's it for Consumer Watch. Let's go over to Michael for something to talk about.
Thank you, Tanya. This morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Instapoll, robots and human interaction. More and more robots becoming a part of everyday life. We talked earlier with a couple different examples. Tanya, there's that Boston Dynamics robot with the wheels I was talking about. It just honestly looks scary as all get out.
Peeling a banana.
It's because it's going to lull you into a false sense of security, and you're going to be like, well, I could
Look,
use that at my house.
It's gentle. It won't hurt you. It can peel a banana.
Do you know what it could do to that banana? Do you realize the pounds per square inch that thing could probably apply to like a human hand?
That one looks sweet. It
Anyway,
shakes your
Tanya and
hand.
I obviously are not afraid of any of this. Our question for you this morning on the KOAM News Now Instapoll, how would you interact with robots? And 64%, maybe siding with Tanya and me, with myself and Tanya, no, none of the above.
Michael, no one wants to play with them.
No, because they're scary. And also, too, in the words of Uncle Jimbo, they'll take our jobs. All right, we appreciate your engagement each and every morning. KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also connect to us at the KOAM News Now Facebook page. Coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. But first, let's check in with Gail. She's in New York City.
Hello to you. I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, Nate visits with country music superstar Jimmy Allen. They're going to be talking about music, family, and his determination to make it in Nashville. And yes, he has made it. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Robert Pryor. First Sergeant Pryor served in the Army from 1968 to 1969. He served in Vietnam with the 1st Cavalry. His hometown, Pittsburgh, Kansas. We thank you, today's four-state hero, Robert Pryor.
And the birthday list begins with a picture that if this can't put us, this is one of those where I say, if this can't put a smile on your face on a Friday, I can't help you out. I'd like to introduce you to Natalie Murphy, who is turning the big #1 with the onesie to prove it and the bow that's about as big as the 1-year-old herself.
Aww.
Natalie, a very, very first happy birthday in Fort Scott, and I want you to know, kiddo, this comes with love from Mom.
What a pretty way to spell Natalie.
That
too.
is
I like
a great picture.
All right, Marjorie Falk celebrating birthday #3 this year.
Where'd she get that shirt at? That's great.
Yeah, that's a good shirt. It's time to party. Looks like she's got
That's
it started.
tremendous.
Marjorie's in Pittsburgh.
Run out to Oswego, where Lexi Zwollen is, oh, look at that, on the ATV, found us a rack, got a 6th birthday, cannot beat it. Happy birthday, Miss Lexi. I hope you get out and can do some more outdoor adventuring with a wonderful weekend ahead.
All right, in Annapolis, Kansas, Castillo Harlan celebrating birthday #7 this year. All right, happy birthday, boy.
Party on right there, superstar. Party on. Elia Huser, celebrating her 8th birthday. We're doing some outdoor exploring right there as well, aren't we? Seeing what we can dig up. That's a cool picture, Elliot. A very happy birthday in Fredonia.
Looks like somebody's headed to the beach there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Weston Lowe turning 9 years old in Cherokee.
Well, check out the right-hand side. Check out our note.
Yeah. It says golden birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah. Love golden birthdays, man.
Oh, yeah, because tomorrow is the 9th.
Right, tomorrow's the 9th.
I put two and two together there. A little slow
Too
this
cool.
morning.
You and I are past golden birthdays. They don't have that many days in a month anymore. We passed those days. Weston, this is Weston's big one tomorrow.
Can it be your like golden, or like can we make a new thing like a no, it wouldn't be platinum, but like if it's like if you're gonna turn,
We're not selling
if you're gonna
records
turn
over here.
60, I'm not gonna be 60. I just made that number up. If you're gonna turn 60 on the 60th day of the year.
You just turned us into a Billboard Top 40.
Because there would be enough days of the year for everybody's birthday then, because nobody is over 365 years old, except for Yoda.
Weston, you enjoy your birthday. Let Tanya lament. I want you to enjoy yours. Allie R. turning 18. That, you can tell Allie likes to have a little fun right there. Allie, I want you to have a marvelous birthday weekend as well. She's in Moran.
All right, Michael Clugston celebrating birthday number 18 this year with love from Mom, Chuck, and Bree.
Let the party commence in Franklin. Hunter Alters is celebrating his 21st birthday. Hunter, I want you to have a marvelous and safe birthday weekend, my man.
Yes, keyword on safe. Be good, Hunter. This is a message from both you and me. Message from your mom and me. Let's behave on our 21st.
Okay, Hunter. That was Tanya.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Garrett Baker, happy 24th birthday. Garrett in Neodesha. This birthday wish comes with love from Mom. It's a beautiful picture as well.
All right, we've got Creek Uncle Pippi turning 30 years old this year. And Yates Center birthday wishes coming from Dad, Todd, Don, Gus, Peckinpah, and Brumpy.
It's like if we took Krakonkle and put him in shoulder pads, we could almost reimagine the Bo Jackson poster.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, Ron? You do not think that he has that? Okay. He does have it. Really, Ron quickly backed off right there. He's like, no, he's got it. Lindsay Lee Tuba, celebrating her 31st birthday. Lindsay Lee, I hope you have a marvelous birthday weekend as well.
All right, Kelly Don High School celebrating birthday number 43 this year with a little throwback pic. Oh, I love that photo.
Oh my
with
goodness.
love from the family in Pittsburgh.
Hey Kelly, next time we run into you there, I want the backstory on how that picture came to be. Not why it's on. I mean the actual backstory when the parents dressed you up and got that taken at Olin Mills, because that is awesome.
Yep, you got to have that little bonnet and the frilly lacy dress. Yeah.
That's tremendous. Tony Wagner celebrating a 61st birthday. Looks like we had some great time with family right there around the Christmas days. Tony, I hope you get to celebrate with more family again this weekend.
And it's my man in Farlington, Kansas, Kevin Schupbach. You know, Kevin sold me my first car when I moved here years and years ago. He is now 62 years old.
Look how big the kids are getting.
Yeah, I know.
Something else?
Yeah.
All right, happy birthday, Kevin. Susie Jackman is turning 75, and when Susie has a birthday, we have a tendency around here to bust out the sombreros. Actually keep mine back in engineering, and now that the birthday weekend has commenced, Susie, I will have mine on for you as well. She celebrates in Iola.
You know, Cinco de Mayo is less than a month away. She's ready.
This is, I wear mine for Susie's birthday.
Yeah. All right. Bob Cox celebrating birthday number 81. Happy birthday from the family, Mr. Cox. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Coming up this weekend, Shirley Casey is going to celebrate her 87th birthday. What a gorgeous vase of flowers there for Miss Casey and Shirley. I'm so happy that on Sunday we're going to have some wonderfully warm temperatures, and I bet you that there's a plethora of flowers headed your way for your 87th birthday as well. Shirley's in Oswego.
I like all the pretty hearts on her shirt too.
Those are so beautiful.
All right, Vernon Ross, celebrating another year wiser in Riverton. Hope you have a wonderful day, Vernon.
If that's his backyard, I want one of those chairs, Vernon.
That is a cool bench.
I like that. That's pretty cool. David Farrington, a happy birthday. And David, I want you to know that as you head out the door this morning, these birthday wishes come from all your co-workers. I don't know if when we get a birthday wish like that, if it's like hitting your first Major League home run where they ignore you in the dugout when you get there. So David, if everybody's silent to you, if everybody gives you the silent treatment, they're just giving you a hard time because they're the ones that send in your birthday wishes, my man. He's in Pittsburgh, by the way.
Michael, is it just me, or does David look like he has a very mischievous look about him?
Yes.
He's got something planned
Yes.
for his coworkers.
That's probably why David's coworkers went out and did the preemptive strike. Because he may be up to something later this afternoon.
All right, Skylar Green in Carthage. Happy birthday. Looks like you got your hands full. Wish birthday love coming from Mom.
I had to do a double take right there. That's great. That's true. That's a great picture. Virginia Burke with a milestone birthday. Let's give it up for Miss Virginia as she is now 100 years old. Virginia, a very special birthday wish from all of us here at KOAM and Fox 14. She celebrates in Moran. Jessica Humble, she is celebrating a milestone birthday as well. She is celebrating her 21st. Jessica, a happy birthday weekend and please be safe. She is in Scammon. And Julia Dooley, a very happy birthday in Webb City.
Jennifer Eckhart celebrating another year wiser. Melvin Stewart turning 56 this year. Melvin is in Bronson. And down in Miami, turning 78, Pamela Gray Goodien.
Happy birthday and happy anniversary to all. Here's Tanya Bach with a very important birthday announcement.
Just a little reminder to sign up for our KOAM Birthday Club because you can get special deals from local businesses. Once you do, go to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today.
Those winds we've been fighting for the last 3 days actually toppled some semis yesterday. We're going to bring you the details and also some safety tips on how to best be safe when you're out in this Midwest wind. That when we transition over to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Back with more KOAM Morning News right after this. Look at our cool temperatures to begin our Friday morning. Sunrise, we're just a couple minutes past it, but because of our heavy cloud cover, not a whole lot of sunshine, that is for sure. It would be nice if we got a little bit of a warm up. Not going to be the case, as we're only going to be into the high 40s today. An occasional 50 every now and then with a northwest wind, 15 to 25 miles per hour, the third consecutive day that we've been around 20 miles per hour. And the wind hasn't changed directions. Therein lies the problem with our temperatures. Now, as we creep past sunset, bundle up if you are out and about. We just got done with birthdays and anniversaries. For those of you that are going to be celebrating maybe a trip out with family, friends, eating out, something like that, grab your coat. It's going to drop down below freezing tonight. That freeze warning lasts all the way until 8 o'clock Saturday morning. But here's the great thing about the weekend. Once the sun rises on Saturday, here we go, up, up, and away. Mid-60s, mostly sunny skies. Overnight lows of Saturday and Sunday higher than our highs today. And then Sunday, we'll see an 80. Down south and out to the west, Tanya, we will see an 80 pop up on that board.
I'm looking forward to that.
No joke.
You talked about going out and eat with family and friends.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to family get-togethers, I love it, absolutely love it when my sister brings her deviled eggs. And so I'm super excited about today's recipe in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We are making pimento cheese deviled eggs. Michael's excited too. Each to his own, but I like deviled eggs.
It's crazy. I just had this conversation 2 days ago with somebody about deviled eggs. And no offense, you weren't privy to that. It's just like, but it's like you were a part of that conversation.
He's like, oh, it's because Easter's coming. And there's always a family get-together and a deviled egg dish on the table.
More mind reading coming up when we transition over to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Do me a favor, be safe. Have a great weekend. We'll do this all again on Monday morning.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.